Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, well, rumour has it, he sometimes howls at the moon and he's hungry like the wolf. All I know is my howling co-host, it's Mr. Taylor.
Hello.
Ow, 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 ow.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening indeed. And welcome indeed to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Whether you're a new listener or a repeat offender.
Keep repeating.
And welcome along to another excellent episode, a howling episode, I think you'll find, because this week we're talking werewolves.
Oh, yes.
We've had it on the list for ages. Werewolves, the mystical creatures that appear in folklore and fiction.
All right.
Well, could they be humans that transform into wolves or wolves that transform into humans?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll be going into it later. But it's funny you should say about full moons because there's been interesting moon things going on. Recently, yeah, we'll be talking about it a bit later on, and maybe that is. I'm wondering how many people have turned into werewolves recently because of that.
Oh, yeah.
Or X-Men or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
superpower.
Werewolves is the topic this week. We'll be going into it. Werewolves have been around for a while.
Yeah,
I reckon they're going to be the next big thing. We've had vampires and zombies recently. I think werewolves have been in the background.
Yeah, they died off a little, didn't they?
People have just been hiding in the background. They are always like, like those third-rate characters in things where it's like they've got a werewolf friend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
They've not been the focus since the 80s, since Michael J. Fox started playing basketball as a werewolf.
We haven't had a lot of films with him, have we?
No, nothing really since the 80s. And I think they're due a resurgence, really.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the start of it.
Yeah. I think
we'll spark it up.
It was Underworld that come out.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, which was
that was a werewolf. Was it a full-on werewolf movie, though?
Yeah, but I think it was werewolves and vampires.
You see, this is it. So probably the vampires were the bigger focus.
One and the other, aren't you? They were two separate entities, and
that's what I'm saying.
Basically, just threw them together.
We have vampires, you have your zombies, you have your this, that, and the other. It's like I think they all have the little moment in the sun. I hope not. Vampires not, because they don't like that.
No. No.
Anyway, that's all. That's all coming up in the show a little bit later on. Not long, but just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit more. We still got stuff to talk about anyway. This episode is brought to us in part by Orange County CBD, the wellness supplement based in the UK, which is basically, they do a lot of different things, don't they?
They do.
They do CBD oils.
Yes. Really good.
They also do balms, bath bombs. They do gummies.
Yes.
Yeah. But they don't just do CBD. They do turmeric gummies. They do caffeine gummies. They do a lot of different things. Do check out their website, as it is Black Friday.
It is.
And they are offering a massive 50% off
50%.
all products on the website. Go and check it out. You can go over to orangecountycbd.com to check those. And there'll be a link in the description as well. But to get a discount, use NASA BF50 at the checkout, and that'll get you some Black Friday deals.
Yes,
I think you'll find. Orange County, I use them. I mean, I've got quite a lot of the Orange County products, and I'm not gonna, they're good for de-stressing, and if you do feel like you have anxieties and stuff like that, they work in those respects.
Worth a try.
They're good for kind of like joint relief as well, and those type of things.
Definitely.
If you suffer from arthritis, I play the guitar, so I usually get arthritis in my hands, especially around the winter time.
Yeah.
And I've noticed since using CBD this year, I haven't had it. I haven't had any of the pains and the sort of arthritis, sort of joint knuckle pains and kind of like hand pains that I usually get.
So you as a test subject believe...
Well, like I say, I mean, I've only started really using it a lot more this year.
Yeah.
And it's got to the winter now where I usually have that type of, infliction. Yeah. And it's been fine. So, I mean, if you do suffer from arthritis, maybe try it and then, let me know how you got on.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth a try, I think.
Well, anyway, like I say, if you wanted to try some CBD products, you can check it out by checking the link for Orange County in the description of this podcast using the code NASA BF50 at the checkout for 50% off. Free delivery over orders over £25. Orange County CBD.
Go for it.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's that out of the way. What have you been up to this week, Mr. Taylor?
Me, I had two of my teeth taken out.
Oh, you did? You were at the dentist this week. How did you get on?
I actually, before I walked in there, I thought, right, so they're going to take them two out there, that one out there, and then they're going to take a number of routes. But just walked in, it was like a 10-minute thing.
They always change their mind, the dentist. They go, right, I'll do this instead.
Yeah, and I'll see
whatever
you in a
can be bothered.
Okay, then, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because I actually thought I was going to have time off work because of it, but nah, it was actually sweet, nice and easy, and I had really any issues with it.
Excellent. So you're feeling much better now you've had that out? It's like, I will urge people, if you are having problems with your dental,
go and see your
just
dentist.
go to the dentist because it is honestly the best thing you can do, and you'll feel a lot better for it after you've got it all done.
Yeah, don't suffer like some
don't
people.
Suffer in silence, and don't do your own
There's
dentistry.
a lot of that
I've done it myself.
Yeah, I have.
I've told you. I mean, you've known.
Have.
I mean, I've had problems, and I've ended up going right. Fuck it.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Rip that fucker
yeah,
out.
I don't recommend it. Honestly, you might think it's a good idea at the time,
yeah.
But once you kind of try it or do it, you will be in. I'm not even joking. Like fucking agony. Yeah. Sounds like a good idea at the time. Probably not.
Worth it. Yeah, go see a professional.
Well, I'm glad you've managed to get sorted out anyway, because I know it was bugging you.
Yeah.
So,
it definitely.
I've not been up to anything else apart from having some strange person stick the fingers in your mouth.
Well, yeah.
You've been to the dentist as well, haven't you? Oh,
yeah, I did that as well.
Bubbles.
Ding. It's actually given me a little time because, like I've said in the past, like when you get into this kind of stuff, have yourself a break every now and again.
I thought you was going to say, have yourself a merry little Christmas. What, a little break? Have yourself a Kit Kat?
Yeah.
What? Have a break from what?
Have a break from looking into the information and stuff like that, and like the info that you've gathered.
Well, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Because I do believe that, right? Because do you know when you fall down these rabbit holes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all do it.
Really in depth.
We go on a YouTube fucking like conspiracy binge, and we fall down a rabbit hole, and before you know, we've connected the moon landing to the building of the pyramids.
Yeah.
Atlantis is fucking somewhere else. You know,
JFK
you've worked out
in Atlantis.
JFK and Snoop Dogg with Elvis. You know, all these things start, getting a bit on top of you. You need to kind of step back from these conspiracy bubbles and conspiracy rabbit holes, and say.
And
wait a minute.
You've
I mean,
gathered.
not always is, don't believe
It's
everything
not all
you hear
true,
on the internet. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we're guilty of it, because we look for topics that we can cover for the show all the time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. It's like, this is why I like. Somebody was saying, why do you not go on Reddit and try and find topics that are just being released? And I was like, well, interestingly enough, no, because. There's not enough information about it. It's just kind of like it's an opinion or a thought at this point.
Whereas a bit of clarity behind it.
It needs a kind of a bit of evidence or a bit of something to kind of like get to look into it. Yeah. So like if the more evidence or the more kind of compelling information that you can bring forward makes for a better story.
And we don't always agree on the actual story that we're
100%.
talking about. We have actually said we don't agree.
I've totally. Mate, you'll know when I don't agree with one of the stories because I'll be laughing my ass off all the way through it and making poking fun.
Yeah.
And it's like not always going to be like I try to be impartial about these things, but at the end of the day, it's like if it's ridiculous, but it's an interesting story.
It's actually interesting.
Or it's an interesting story until something ridiculous happens, and then that just makes me go, and there it is. There's a thing that makes me not buy into the story now. Do you know what I mean? And there's always one or these. But if you find that there is a topic where there isn't a thing, an ick, in a topic, then you kind of just get on. You think actually that's why you fall down these rabbit holes, because the more plausible it is, then obviously the more likely you are to believe it.
Yeah, but I was pondering actually yesterday.
So anyway,
about,
you said you were taking a step back.
Yeah.
So
to ponder on things.
On things.
Yeah,
okay.
and work things out to say
and
to
what
clarify my mind.
And what have you discovered?
And
He's pieced something together.
I was thinking yesterday about how right, we don't classify it really true unless it's been written down. But it doesn't mean that it's true because it's written down. So there's a lot of falsification on.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that
listen,
gets
right? The more we get in, the more technology gets better. Yeah, the less certain information holds value in terms of like, you know, in terms of like genuine article, right?
Yeah.
So
we only really trust it if it's written down.
There used to be a time when photography was a science, right? Yeah. And there was a phrase, the camera never lies.
Yeah, I remember that.
And if people could see it in a photograph, then that would be of sufficient evidence to suggest that event happened.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's photograph. It had been documented by photograph, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the same respect you've just said there about, you know, like things being written down or being, not believing what you read on the internet. Not believing what you see. Right now AI's creeping in and can kind of change photographs. You can edit things out. You can, you could do that for a long time with Photoshop, but they've made it so much easier with the phone now. You can just kind of go, all right, I want that bus stop out of the way, take that out. Magic eraser and all that.
But it also clarifies.
So it's like what I'm getting at is it's making it much more difficult to believe what you see.
Yeah.
And believe what you read.
Totally.
So it's like no wonder people are confused.
Yeah, the evidence now, I reckon you couldn't even take into court now because it's the face and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you can change your face or change a video that's been.
Oh well, this is the thing. I mean, I saw something this week going into that about changing faces and voices and whatever. Deepfake scams.
Yeah.
Deepfake scams are becoming way more bigger because the technology is available to people where I can literally make a video that's with Elon Musk or Mr. Beast, which are two that are going around at the moment. Elon Musk saying crypto investment, Mr. Beast for a mini casino app, and they're basically making deepfake videos, saying, making all these promises that people can make money on them by downloading these apps and casino games and whatever. Investment tools, they're putting big names to it using deepfake AI generated voices and video, and people are going, oh well, Elon Musk's put his name to it, then it must be genuine, and they're backing it up with like deepfake BBC news footage. So they're taking like basic news footage and then just kind of sticking a bit of new audio over it, and people are buying it. But obviously, it's like it's going to be something that comes into marketing and advertising. And the thing is it ethical for advertisers to use this type of technology to sell a product by stealing someone else's likeness, deep faking them, and using the genuine nature of these people to
should be stamped saying that it was used by AI. AI was used.
Of course it should be.
Commercial or whatever.
And obviously, like I reckon, like at some point, authorities will crack down on this sort of stuff. But at the moment, when platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and whoever are running adverts like this because they're being paid for, they're not bothered about what the content is of the advertisements that they're running. They're just bothered about the money that's coming in, their revenue. So, are they vetting these adverts and saying, hang on a minute, this looks a bit like a scam here. Are you sure we should be putting this on our platform?
Well, they're a big problem.
Doesn't seem that way, does it?
No, no, because all they're interested is in the money that's coming in, and they don't want to get rid of anyone, or lose the money.
Wow. Well,
You know what I mean?
it's it's a big hairy beast.
It is. It's not commercialised.
It's
really.
probably like I bet they wonder, like Amazon. They wonder if all these companies turn into big werewolves after. Yeah, in terms
Big
of what
greedy
I've been
cats.
doing, I was ashamed that my friend got booted off TikTok. I was like, where's my co-host gone?
Oh yes,
Yeah. I
And
knew
then
you
I
wouldn't
looked
last
and went,
long.
"Oh shit, that's all I have."
Oh, I knew it wouldn't
Hey,
last
well,
long.
you know,
I wouldn't
it's-
mind, right? Yeah. Has anyone else had this experience? Because you never actually posted your own content, did
No.
you? You were reposting other people's stuff and got banned.
At me, I had 3 that I posted, and they've been all right.
No
there.
one's banned. No one's reported those
subbed
or
it.
anything like that. But you've been reposting other
yeah.
people's stuff, but you've still had your account banned.
Yeah. They give me warnings, so I've sent back.
But
right.
warnings for what? Reposting.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is basically when you repost something, it acts as if it's a genuine
Yeah, they
first
think
time
I
post.
posted it, and
Yeah.
which technically I have because I've
Well,
taken
yeah,
it off
you
someone
have.
else, but I only took it off someone else. I didn't actually create. I'm not the creator of it.
No, I know, but
So-
it depends what the content is.
Well,
I
yeah, and it
suppose,
shows their system. Well,
Oh, I mean, it's a bit of a weird system, isn't
it
it?
is. I mean, I'm just putting out what I want to put out, and I can't put out what I can't put out.
Well, this
you know
is the
what I
thing
mean? And this
about
is a big
social
problem.
media now, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the moment, it's about freedom
Can't
of
get any
speech.
truth out.
Um,
It's a pain in the
I
ass.
mean, we'll have to talk about that one day. I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of what you can and can't do on social media now, and what the laws are going to be changing quite rapidly in the near future.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
And again, talking about rapidly
Totally.
changing,
Yeah.
we've got our werewolves episode.
We have.
I think we should
We have.
move on with that
Yeah.
actually, because I think we've got we should
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, let's move on to the werewolves. Let's
Well,
get a bit hairy.
like I say, it's a hairy situation. We had this on the list for quite a while, haven't we?
We have.
And I was always like, oh, werewolves. I mean, I like the idea, I like the topic.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. And that's not to say we're at the bottom of the barrel.
No,
Yeah, right.
It's
I'd
just-
be way past that.
It's not. Yeah. I mean, from the beginning of it, do you believe that there is anything out there?
To the myth.
Yeah.
Well, to the legend of werewolves, of kind of right. Well, I will put this in the way that I'll say about dragons, right,
Okay.
or any other mythical creatures,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. These things crop up in so many different, like legends
Centuries.
in different
Yeah.
regions of the country, in different religions and
Yeah.
different sort of historical documents that.
Big time scale.
Yeah,
time
totally.
scale.
And I mean, it's like we'll get into it anyway because like like a dragon.
Yeah.
Werewolves or lichens or whatever you want to call them, they have kind of roots in a lot of different mythologies and folklores.
Yeah.
So in that respect, you've got to kind of say, well, you know, if that many people are having an experience of a similar nature, then there's got to be some truth in it. So
yeah, there's got to be something there. There's a
they might not
substance.
exist now, but at some point was there like a wolf or a kind of sort of like a hairy beast of a creature? I mean, we still consider it Bigfoot's around, and that's supposedly a big beastie hairy creature.
Yeah.
So, you know, is it a case of like, you know, we've seen this in the woods or seen something in the woods, and then, you know, imagination is filled in the rest? But we don't know because basically, this is the thing. I mean, the idea that a man would transform into a wolf-like creature, typically during a full moon, it's obviously a concept. The werewolves have been present in various, you know, cultures throughout history.
Yeah.
There's got to be something to it. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you reckon?
Yeah. I think so. But like the moon is
You saw the
is a
whole
21st
of the
century
moon.
kind of thing.
What was that? The
Supposedly.
moon. What? So you're telling me like the idea of werewolves
And the moon
the
connection is
people them turning into the werewolf on a full moon is only a recent occurrence.
Yeah.
So, but how would you think?
because in the past it's not been, the moon hasn't been involved in the stories and the tales of it.
Right,
So the kind of evidence, but they might not have been looking at that kind of way.
Well,
in a kind
we
of
were
funny-
talking earlier about what the difference between a lichen and a werewolf
Yeah,
is, right? And
yeah.
apparently, lichens can change into humanoids and wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, at will. Yeah, right. So it can change between humanoid wolf at will, right? Whereas a werewolf changes into a humanoid or a wolf. It can't turn back until it can't turn back into their human state.
So they will transfer into the wolf, and that's it. They're a dog for life.
Well, no, I'm not sure if that is the case, or if it's just a case of that it's the moon that dictates that time period.
Well, for all we know, they could be actually like two different.
Whereas
kind
a
of
lichen
species.
can go, "Fuck you, I'm a wolf. Fuck you, I'm a man," and it doesn't matter if there's a moon or not.
Well,
Do
it
you know what I
sounds
mean?
like they may be two kind of species. One that the moon does actually affect.
Well, it was we were talking about like how would you catch a werewolf, right? Yeah. And you said that straight away. It was like, well, how do you know it's like when it's going to be a wolf or when it's going to be a man or whatever? And it's like, well, you wait until the full moon. No, that was right. I said you wait until the full moon, and then if it turns into a wolf, like you wait till morning, and then you just
then you grab
it.
Yeah,
with silver chains.
Yeah. But if it's a lichen, it can change at any time. So as soon as you
Exactly.
walk behind it, it's going to turn around and rip your fucking throat out.
Well, that's not what you want, is it?
No. But I don't know many victims that have come forward, to be honest. So,
well, one of the most famous werewolf stories comes from 18th century France, where the beast of Gévaudan terrorized the region. I think I've pronounced that right. I do apologise if I've not. It basically inspired the tales of mysterious creatures. Sorry, what happened there? Mysterious creatures, which were represented large wolves or like werewolves, and this was kind of like medieval France. So, the idea and the theme of them transforming basically came from around that time. There was a story about a knight who basically transformed himself into a werewolf under a curse. There's quite a lot of different
curses. There are quite a number of stories on curses as well.
Oh, mate, you don't want to be cursed.
No. Oh, hell no. You won't be able to do it when you want.
Well, we'll go into the curses in a minute. So the curses are quite, like you say, there's quite a lot of curses and magic involved in why werewolves might actually be werewolves, right? So, but the most common characteristic of a werewolf is obviously them transforming or having the ability to transform from human to wolf, right? This is triggered sometimes, but not always, by a full moon. But other factors such as anger and, like we said, curses may be involved. Now, some of the curses, some legends of people becoming werewolves are a result of curses, either self-inflicted or imposed by someone else. Magic, whether it be dark or, basically play or any other sort of magic plays significant roles in many werewolf tales as well. But, I mean, how would you get cursed by
a witch?
But yeah, I know. But then again, that opens a whole can of worms as well. We're not just saying it's like, well, we'll do
That's
werewolves.
A question as well.
Werewolves exist, wouldn't they? All right. Well, mostly we're going to say most werewolves have that infliction opposed upon them by a witch. Then we've got to go. Okay, well now witches exist.
Yeah, but then if you think about it,
and
back
curses.
then, witches are different to what we look at it to how they would have looked at it, because it's like technology back then. You know?
Oh
what I mean?
I get it now. So it was just a woman with a wolf making gun.
Yeah,
she
knew how to deal with this, which plant to, get and which frog to fucking cut up.
This witch knew which witch. Knew which was which.
They knew all the herbs, the spices, and what they can do. And stuff like that.
So maybe it was a potion.
Yeah.
A wolf. Oh, right.
Or just giving you a potion to make you believe you were, or to make you believe you've seen one. Or on the alternative possibility, which there has been a number of cases on it, is that it was actually murderers. Someone with a mental health problem,
blame it
rabies,
on the wolf man. Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that.
100%.
Actually, back then
maybe it was just like some hermit guy who lived in the wolf, who went, like you say, a bit crazy. Lived in the wolf, lived in the woods.
Well, werewolf's actually a new term as well.
Oh, is
because,
it?
yeah,
So what was it always like?
they were always known as dogmen.
Dogmen.
Yeah.
I know a few of them.
But you've got the diseases. Don't forget, you've got diseases as well, where like the face gets hairy.
Oh, right,
and stuff
yeah.
like
Well, I wouldn't
that.
say
You've
that
got
was a
kind of stuff.
disease. It was just basically a hormonal thing, isn't
Well,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you had all them kind of elements, and don't forget, there would have been a lot more different varieties of dangerous stuff back
I suppose
then.
people might consider that like being cursed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they didn't understand
Like
it.
the bearded lady.
Yeah,
They
exactly,
could have turned
yeah,
around
yeah.
and gone, "You're a werewolf."
You're part wolf. You.
Yeah, you are. You're a bit of a dog.
Well, the association between werewolves and the full moon is obviously a new theme.
Yeah.
In many stories, but it is a prevalent theme in a lot of the transformation.
Yeah.
And it's said to be involuntary. So obviously you can't do anything, and it all depends on the lunar cycle when you might
when you go out and
transform.
not.
Do you know what though? Right, in terms of werewolf movies, right? Because werewolves do crop up in a lot of movies, potentially mainly in the 80s. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A lot of 80s movies are werewolf movies, but
We're getting most our basis off.
I'll be honest with you, bro. Yeah, right. Some of the most horrific or horrifying things I saw as a kid, in movies were werewolf things. Do you know the transformation? Yeah.
Like Werewolf in America.
American Werewolf in London. Yeah. American Werewolf in Paris.
That's what the main picture I think of when
Same.
you're doing the transition.
Michael Jackson.
Such good.
Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
In Thriller.
Whoever
right,
did them two, they were genius.
And when they transform, that was the most scary bit. That midway point between human and wolf.
Yeah.
Right? That
I
was
haven't
the
seen
bit.
anyone do it better.
So that's the thing. It's like we find werewolves and vampires and shit scary, right? Yeah.
I think intriguing as well.
But I didn't find the werewolf scary. I found that guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Between human and werewolf.
The
right?
scary one.
That was the bit that shit me up. Right, yeah.
Okay.
What's scarier, the transitional bit or the actual result? Because I
fucking
found
result
the
of the
result
animal.
was like...
At least in transition, you could talk to it, you know what I mean? Or at least
I don't know.
have a bit of...
It looked a bit like it was writhing in pain a little bit.
But
anyway.
Yeah, it didn't look comfortable, I must admit.
I mean, obviously, they didn't give it the Teen Wolf treatment.
No, they didn't.
Obviously not.
That was
Werewolf by Night was really good. I don't know if you saw that, which was a Marvel one-shot.
Right.
Piece. I think it's on Disney Plus actually, but it's a recent piece, but it's actually like really, really good. It's set like one of these old 1920s black and white movies, but it's a werewolf sort of drama. That's been, I think, the most recent thing that I've seen, which was actually good about werewolves. Just to be honest, I mean, like I say, the only time werewolves are introduced is like as a secondary thing, and like I say, the only other thing I've seen is What We Do in the Shadows, where the werewolves are like, it's a documentary about vampires, but werewolves are introduced because there's a rivalry. Do you know what I mean, between the vampires and the werewolves over turf?
I think that's just coming,
and it's just kind of to take the piss out of it a little bit. Yeah. So I kind of like that, but I mean, like I say, werewolves haven't had a really kind of good, strong treatment since the 80s.
True, and it's actually kind of funny about, like you were saying then about, werewolves really come out at night, basically, to do the attacks or get the victims. But actually, from was it the 13th till the 17th century, actually people weren't allowed to come out at night.
Well, I'm
there
not
were actually
surprised.
guards that used to patrol the streets to stop people from coming out.
Well,
now, that's a good reason why you could have actually turned around and said,
wait a
you
minute.
have to stay indoors.
Wait, obviously, using it as a scare tactic and saying,
Over
wait a minute, you've got to go, you can't stay out tonight. Why not? Werewolves.
Well, mate, sorry, mate.
Wolfmen are out, man. You don't want to be out here. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you wouldn't want to come across one, because obviously the behavioural changes of somebody who has turned into a werewolf, portrayed often as like being more aggressive, predatory animals, dangerous, more dangerous than their human counterparts. but they seem to lose control of their actions during these transformations. So, you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of one.
Hell no.
I mean, what would you do if you did? I mean, do you
Kicking
know
the
how
ball
do you know
at-
do you know how to deal with a werewolf? I mean, we were just talking about how to catch one, but I mean, like, obviously,
I do actually.
wait until it transformed back.
As far as I'm aware, there are 2 ways of getting rid of a werewolf.
Right, okay.
One, the old story of the silver bullet.
Silver bullet.
Or 2, not be frightened.
Oh, right,
and the
just
thing is,
bop it on its nose and go, and make yourself
be
bigger
an idiot
than
or
him.
whatever, because
I'd bang on a pot on a pan. I don't think so.
Fear is apparently what they
I think
it'd
it'd attack you either
stop
way.
Me? No.
Anyone?
No.
Well,
but
silver bullets.
They're the only 2 ways, I believe.
Silver bullets is the only way I really know, and I think, like, obviously shooting them with a bullet is way better than just pretending to be harder than a werewolf. Like, hey, yo,
a bit of fun as well.
Well, my dad will beat your dad.
Yeah.
Sort of way. Silver bullets, obviously, are a weakness for werewolves in many stories. It's said that silver bullets are a silver weapon.
But weren't there a connection between the silver and the moon as well?
But the magical creatures, this is the thing, yeah. If you've got a magical creature, it's got to be killed in a magical way.
Well,
do a little dance, make a little love, stab him with a silver sword.
Well, it's more like a disease, if anything.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, but in terms of, like, how can you cure? If it's a curse, you can break a curse. We know this. We know we can break a curse.
Yeah.
So if he's been cursed, right? What's the better thing to do? Try and reverse the curse.
Yeah.
And save the guy from all this torture, or kill him.
He might like it.
Well, he might, but no, because I don't feel like if you have been cursed to become a werewolf, then you're not good. You lose control, don't you? You don't really have any sort of.
Except for the Lycans have control.
He's like the Hulk. That's what I like them to. Do you know the Hulk in the early days?
Yeah.
You know, when he was like no control over his anger, and he'd let the Hulk run loose and smash everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Like Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde, yeah. I think that's what it's like. It's like as soon as the wolf takes over, the human counterpart doesn't really get a say anymore. Do you know what I mean? And if that's killing and murder and fucking eating and running through the woods, that's what he's doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's if you remember.
I mean, obviously, these different cultures have different origins and experiences with the werewolf. Some believed that it's a supernatural being, or it's a magical, which is what causes its magical transformation. Yeah. While other attribute its personal ability to, or its abilities to shape from a person to a werewolf voluntary. So, like, it's almost like something that they choose to do. Yeah. So, it was something we were talking about earlier about lichens and werewolves, or shapeshifters, because we've talked about kind of like Skinwalker Ranch, and they've reported kind of like werewolf
kind of
exact creatures like
they were on their hind legs, and
I was about to say on the hind legs,
and they can grip as well, which they can't. They shouldn't be able to grip at all. Bipedal, they call it. Yeah, standing up on your hind legs.
Well,
But and you get them from about 5 feet to 8 feet. They've been roaming around.
That's it.
But they all, but actually, got some scientists did a test called the Norwegian test, which what they did was there was a panda escaped. So they put it all over the news, and then there were reports all over the place. Roughly at the same times as well, but the problem was the panda hadn't escaped at all.
Right.
They just stated that the panda had escaped to see how people would react. Would they actually, go hunting for it, or they just spotted something and then automatically went, "That's the panda. I'm going to ring in."
So they pretended a panda had escaped when it hadn't, but just to see what people would do and see if people would lie about
did a
seeing
war of the
it.
Worlds, basically,
with a panda.
Yeah, with a panda.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it did come up with some good results on stating that, you'd
people talk
like,
shit. Don't believe what people say.
Yeah, sometimes
They'll say they saw a panda when they really didn't.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So,
I saw a monk.
Did you?
Remember in Amsterdam,
Yeah,
but you still don't believe me. Well, no, thank you. Thank you for saying that I did.
Yeah.
That's the first time he said I was actually
I
telling
can't remember.
the truth.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I actually did see a monk.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I say you did. But
Go on. Anyway, you were going on about something then, so carry on.
Yeah, but it's also interesting that there's a lot. In fact, there's a lot more findings of werewolves now.
Oh, well, I was going to get into modern sort of interpretations of werewolves in a second, but firstly, do you realise that obviously werewolves have been featured in various works of literature and film?
Yeah.
One of the most famous examples is the 1897 Gothic horror novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. There was a werewolf in that.
All right, really?
Also, there was a werewolf, obviously, in the film The Wolfman, which was the 1941 movie. Another influenced by work of the popularization of the werewolf mythology. But it did kind of creep into cinema quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like I say, do you think it's, I keep saying this, but do you think it's due a resurgence in terms of, we've had zombies recently. We have had a load of vampires with your Vampire Diaries, True Bloods, Twilight.
I think maybe in the next 5 years.
I reckon Wolfmen have come on the comeback.
I think that's the same now with westerns. I think westerns are going to reappear as well now. They've slowly.
Are you talking to me?
Well, I think you're going to have a
that's totally not a western.
No,
I felt like that sounded western though.
Big the Bag and the Ugly.
Yeah.
But there was
Anyway, I get where you're coming from. So modern interpretations, right. Modern werewolves, right, often depicted as complex characters dealing with, challenges with their dual nature, struggling with their inner beast and all that. Do you know what I mean? And often depicted as supernatural creatures. Do you know what I mean? Rather than people with curses or anything like that, that they're just kind of like Harry Potter, Mr. Lupin in Harry Potter. I don't know if you've seen him. He's a werewolf, right?
Oh, no,
but
I haven't seen him.
He's afflicted by the moon.
Right.
Doesn't really remember what he's done when he's a werewolf. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation, like an alter ego or new personality sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, he is kind of painted as a mythical creature or a supernatural creature. Do you know what I mean? Like an elf, not an elf, or like a
lichen.
Like a lichen, or I suppose he is a lichen.
Oh, yeah.
But like
some kind of hound,
some sort of like a unicorn or a minotaur or something like that. Like he's painted as a supernatural creature that does exist. Do you know what I mean? So this is what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the times when they are kind of introduced in modern literature or film or TV, they're more supernatural than cursed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
They're more kind of like romanticized, if you like. But vampires are the same.
Definitely.
Vampires are so romanticized.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to see one in a dark alley, would you, really?
They eat your face, but they're so hot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'll spend
it's
one
weird,
night
isn't it? Well, I mean, vampires and werewolves, like I say, go hand in hand when considering it. I mean, going back as far as 1897 with Dracula. So it's interesting to say that. But I mean, there's been a lot of different kind of like mythologies. Norse mythology, right? There was while not a traditional werewolf, Fenrir was a monstrous wolf in Norse mythology. I'm wondering if that's the one that's in Thor, the Thor movie. Do you know, with Hela?
Yeah, it could
She's got a big wolf, hasn't she? And that's a bit Norse.
That's true.
Here we go. Yeah, because it says here, Fenrir is the child of the god Loki, and is the foretold to play significant role in the events of Ragnarok at the end of the world.
Right. Yeah.
So that's in actual Norse mythology, not Marvel movies.
Yes, and Ragnarok is...
it is a Norse thing. I mean, obviously, they take their influences, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
Romanian folklore.
All right.
So in Romanian folklore, there is the Moria, which is a type of vampire or supernatural being. Some legends depict the Moria as having the ability to shapeshift into a wolf. They often associated with dark magic and malevolent deeds. Then you've also got Native American legend, the skinwalker, as we were saying earlier.
Totally.
Obviously walks on hind legs. The Navajo legend speaks of the skinwalker, which is a shapeshifter with the ability to transform into other animals, lots of other animals. But in some stories, they've been like wolf-like form.
Do you think the possibility could be that there's actually like a bunch of, let's say, 1,000 shapeshifters, and these are the kind of creatures that they're just trying to
turn into a unicorn just for a buzz,
to attack people, or to just scare people away from certain areas.
If you could shapeshift, right?
Let's say it's all one society. Really, it's not actually.
Well, maybe that's why the sightings are so scarce.
Yeah,
because maybe it's not even like a group of these people. Maybe it's like literally one or two.
Yeah,
and that's why sightings are so scarce, because it's like they just fuck about.
Yeah.
Turning
we're on a planet
unicorns
of 8
and Bigfoot.
billion, if not, more than 8 billion people at the minute. So, put 1,000 in.
It's like, where you're off to, honey? I'm off to Scotland. I'm going to pretend to be Nessie for a couple of weeks. Fuck with the locals.
Yeah, for all we know, we're just getting fucked with our heads.
Something a bit like, what's her name from X-Men?
Yeah.
Mystique.
Yeah, that's the one.
The folklore for werewolves doesn't go. It goes even further than that, though. German or Germanic folklore suggests that there is the Elking, which is a supernatural being often associated with the woods. In some stories, the Elking is depicted as a malevolent figure with the ability to transform people into wolves and other creatures. So not generally turn it. So there you go.
So we're talking like the top of the crop there. The guy.
That's the guy who can turn. That's the king, werewolf maker.
Dracula.
The werewolf mother.
Yeah.
The Elking had to come from Germany as well, did it? Greek mythology as well, which is the Lycon, which is where the Lycan name comes from. Right. In Greek mythology, Lycan is the king of who tested Zeus. And basically severing his human flesh.
Oh, yeah. Would that mean Zeus is going to turn into a werewolf then?
Maybe. No. As punishment, Zeus transformed Lycan into a werewolf.
Right.
So Lycan was a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Or some sort of
argument,
omnipotent being. Right. Yeah. But then
that was his punishment.
Had a bit of a to do with Zeus. And Zeus transformed him into a werewolf. This is why Lycan is the name.
Lycan,
yeah, because he was like in the respect that like we say Satan or Lucifer was sent to
hell,
disbanded or whatever, said you can't be here in heaven anymore, you've got to go elsewhere. Similar thing, Zeus was like, wait a minute, you fucking go against me, I'm sending you down there, I'm going to turn you into a wolf for the cheek.
So in that term, there could be a collection of fucking gods for all we know.
Potentially. Well, who knows? I mean, it's like, what about you've talked about kind of like Anunnaki and all these different beings. I mean, how do we know they've not got the ability to take the form of other creatures that we just kind of rather see every day?
You've got them in Egyptian art as well.
I mean, look,
you've got them in so many different areas.
This is it. So, I mean, there's plenty of different kind of examples of werewolf or... Not just werewolf, but people being transformed into wolves.
Yes.
Being able the ability to transform into wolves, or being able to, or being kind of inflicted by a condition where you can't even control it. It's dictated by the cycle of the moon.
Yes.
So, I mean, what do you think about the whole concept of werewolf? Do you believe that this is something that could have been, rooted in truth somewhere down the line in history? Because we get all these tales from these different things, archetypal kind of creatures and monsters or whatever we want to describe them as. But, you know, what would you say? Where does it come from? Do you think it has roots in actual fact, or do you think it's actual just kind of stories that, like, our imaginations have just gone overboard with it, and because it's such an old legend that we take for granted and just kind of like, you know,
it's kind
werewolves.
of like the UFO thing. I think. Well,
was there a cover up? Was there a big wolf cover up? Is what I'm asking.
I kind of think, because of stuff like giants. Like, I kind of believe that there were giants along with humans at the time, and like time scale within what we've been told.
Now, when you say
stuff.
do you say yes, but there was a logical explanation to it? Like you mentioned earlier about genetic DNA things, where you've got kind of wolf men now, but where they've got a genetic
I think it's more of a blood genetic
that
type
gives them that
issue.
wolf hairy face or sort of whatever. You know, do you think that that's what it was, and these people were like, you know, shunned and made to live in the woods?
I think partly, Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of sightings, and then because it's so kind of like, maybe that is the case.
Yeah, but I can't dismiss the tales of, you know, like the gods throwing down.
Oh, of course,
like
or like the Navajo Indians saying like the skinwalker.
And not only that, there's it's not just cases of one person seeing it. There's a bunch of people seeing them as well. So, as a collective, like if it was something that you know, you're ill and you're just seeing these kind of things, or you know that you've had a mushroom a night before or some shit like that, then like if you've got other witnesses, then it's more probable than not. You know what I mean? There's evidence there now. You know what I mean? That's stronger evidence that like 5 people seen this one thing and they're saying exactly the same thing, instead of one person saying, and you're like, well, it's a 50-50, is it not? And because it's gone so many generations, that's another
but that's what I'm saying. Has it gone so many generations? But
possibly.
That's it, because it's just absolutely
Is it
embedded.
whispers or is
It's whispers that have been totally embedded in our conscious now, because it's
story tales and stuff like that. That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a story that has been kind of like, in the same way vampires and, you know, anything like that have been so embedded into popular culture that it's almost like they. And because, so look at dinosaurs, right? Yeah. Dinosaurs aren't around now, but we know they existed, right? Yeah.
Well, they kind of are.
And there is evidence, right? Yeah, to suggest that these dinosaurs were around, right? But if you pretend that the evidence isn't there, right? What's the difference between a dinosaur and a werewolf? It's a story. Right,
it is.
Now, we know that dinosaurs did exist, or, you know, there was evidence to suggest that.
But they were supposed to be long before man, so
but what
we
I'm
didn't
getting
know about
at
it.
is, if you take that away, then I told you, somebody who didn't know either, I said, well, here's 2 scenarios, which one do you believe?
Yeah.
You'd be
I'm
like,
likely to go werewolf,
I don't know. You probably wouldn't have a clue. You probably think I was lying about both, right? Right. So, you know, it's a case of like, you know, one's fantastic, but we've got evidence to support it. One's fantastic, but we don't. So, you know, it's until the evidence crops up.
Yeah, but I don't believe the time scale that they
it's
put
like
down for that.
if you were a werewolf, right, and you died as a wolf, would you remain a wolf, or would you transform back into a human? And therefore, if you
human,
did,
well, you can't.
and what are the chances, right? Of a werewolf dying as a werewolf, right? When this werewolf's way more aggressive and stuff like that. Maybe it was, you know, more predatory, and had no natural enemies, because it's a fucking big werewolf, right? So it's going to have no natural predators, which means that it's not going to be in any danger, right? So it's more likely to die as a man, right, than a werewolf, right? So hence, no werewolf bones remaining. It'd just be a man.
Yeah.
So in terms of finding archaeological like evidence to suggest that like werewolves existed at some point, how would we know if for 50% or 99% of the time he goes about his day as a human? A human man.
Yeah, I get you on that one.
With no natural predators, a werewolf would just go around attacking and eating people and never have to worry about being attacked itself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the chances of it, like I say, chances of it dying at all would be more higher as a human man than it would be.
But surely,
so therefore, I submit to you that there would be no bone evidence.
Yeah, but surely they may be a few dozen there. If there is a few dozen there, then it could transform back to the human after it died.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would rather be looking for the silver bullet to give to the actual, and then check the bones even more. But then we haven't added an extra piece of evidence.
DNA markers.
Oh, yeah. Well, we haven't really added an extra one that could be the big cover-up overall.
Right, okay.
And all over quite a lot of stuff that goes on.
JFK was a werewolf?
No, alcohol.
Okay,
now
go
think
on.
of it this way, like, the world was they didn't really like drinking water, they drank booze all the time. Yeah? Now, if you're drinking booze all the time, you are likely to see stuff that isn't there, and you're likely, even with a bunch of people, you could convince a bunch of people that there's something there as well.
Like I say, sometimes seeing is believing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, like, you know, if you're a bit...
But it's not necessarily true.
Exactly.
That's
100%
the thing,
most of the time, actually. I buy it. Yeah, well, we'll wrap this bit up. I mean, it's important to note that, you know, when dealing with werewolves in mythology can widely vary depending on the culture, region and context. But, you know, werewolves appear in like lots of different cultures and regions around the world and continue to be a popular and enduring element in fantasy and horror. So, you know, it's an interesting one. If you are a werewolf yourself, you know one, then please get in touch.
But there's actually another case for America and any country that's got bears, because if you take a photo of a bear and you take a photo of a wolf, they generally look the same, and bears stand up on their hind legs. They can't hold things, but they
remember cuddling my teddy wolf when I was a kid. I remember it looking very similar. I don't know. Is that right? Bears look like wolves stood up?
If you actually take a good look at a bear and have a good look at
I'll have a Google in a bit.
Similar. Especially from a distance.
From a distance,
if you think about it, it's from a distance.
And if it's up on its hind legs, you might think,
then you're
what
thinking,
the fuck's that?
Yeah, and it's thin. It hasn't had a bit of a meal for a while, so it looks like a
skinny bear,
like a skinny dog. A dog, yeah.
A skinny bear, a skinny wolf.
Well, between a dog and a bear, really. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Well. Well, that wraps that up. If you'd like to make a comment about this week's episode, I mean, what do you think? Do you think werewolves existed? Do you think they're just mythology and fantasy?
Yeah.
I think fantasy, mainly.
You think fantasy?
Yeah.
See, mine is just...
like I say, though, I mean, like, the scariest thing in werewolves for me is Michael Jackson. But, like, you know, you know, anything midway between man and werewolf's a bit fucking freaky. It looks like a genetic mistake. Do you know what I mean? Like,
true.
At least if you're a werewolf, you you can define them as a werewolf. Yeah, you can go, oh, there's a werewolf. Where it's like, you know, when it's part between man and beast, you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going there. Anyway.
And I got something about that in the news.
We do have the news coming up very soon. But first off, we've got some shout-outs. For subscribers. Subscribers, shout out.
Yeah.
These are people who have generously helped out and subscribed to the extra content.
Oh, yes.
Over on TikTok and Spotify. So, yeah, big shout out to John.
John, nice one, John.
Big shout out to Ben.
Nice one, Ben.
The Black Nun.
Oh, yes.
Massive shout out to the Black Nun. Louisa, hello. Big shout out to Vicky.
Nice one, Vic.
Massive shout out to Mans.
Mans.
Yeah. We got the ginger guitarist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's Ginger.
Yeah, totally. Well, he must be.
Yeah.
That's his screen name. Then we've also got Terry.
Terry
Tibbs. Terry from Tasmania.
Yeah.
Terry. And Michael. Big shout out to Michael from Germany as well.
Right, sweet.
Worldwide
Germany.
international subscription. If you're actually on TikTok, then we do live streams as well. So if you want to come over, and there is extra content if you subscribe as well.
Was that a rubbing as well with me not being in?
Oh
TikTok?
no, well, you can rejoin. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna get a new name.
Well,
yeah,
just go by Taylor.
Well, I'm thinking I'll put double N.
Just call yourself the Truth Warrior. I bet you. I wonder how quickly you'll get took off.
Quick straight time. Away. Yeah,
pretty much.
First
quick
thing
time.
I put down.
Yeah, I reckon so. Well, anyway, like we say, we do have some news.
We do,
and that's coming on right about now. It's the news. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been a hot minute since we did the news. We were off last week.
Yeah, we were.
But actually, it was a very worthwhile meeting. We had a meeting last week. Yes. That's big news.
Yeah.
That's the first big bit of news.
That is. Yeah. We
clarified and consolidated and schedulized.
That's right.
Yeah, we're set now till into the new year.
Yeah,
so
definitely
all good. Got loads of great stuff coming up. But but we didn't stop us checking out what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of weeks.
There is something
there's been loads of stuff going on in the world.
Hell yeah.
And obviously we've had a look. We've consolidated.
We have.
We've scrutinized and checked out the facts.
Yeah.
For a good whole solid half hour.
Cross
the I's, dotted the T's.
Yeah.
We did all those bits.
We did.
And we've got that coming up. We've got that here now, right now. But first of all, I would like to say Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
To all of our American cousins.
Friends, yeah.
Because, it's been Thanksgiving.
It has, yes.
And Black Friday as well. I hope they did have a big turkey day.
Yeah.
Have a great time. And,
good scran there.
Give thanks to everything.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's worth it.
It looked lovely. Do you know what? Turkey dinners are always nice anyway. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not really big
I'm always just
turkey
be thankful for my turkey dinner.
Yeah.
Amazing.
To be honest, I'd rather have a chicken than a turkey.
I'd rather have a chicken than a turkey.
Dry for me.
There's a song in there somewhere. I'd rather have a chicken than a turkey.
Yeah, I might have to make.
I'd rather have a roasted than a sprout. Right, don't steal that. It's copyright.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, have you seen any news? I've got this story right. So a plane, right, was forced to return to JFK Airport.
All right.
Right. What do you think happened? Why do you think a plane adapted? Right, there's loads of things that could have happened. Yeah, right.
Snake on a plane.
Snake on a plane. Close.
Oh, rat on the plane.
No.
Spider on the plane.
No. Yeah, I'll give you one more animal.
All right then. All right. COVID on a plane.
No, nothing like that. It was an animal.
It was an animal.
A horse.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So, a plane was forced to return to JFK Airport after a horse on board got loose. So it was a cargo plane. Yeah, right. So the cargo jet had to ascend to 31,000 feet according to the flight radar.
Just stay to the side, you'll knock it over.
The cargo 747 plane was heading to Belgium from New York and was forced to return to JFK. After the horse escaped from its stall, and started running amok,
shitting all over the
running
place.
amok. There was an audio clip which was which accompanied the report.
Yeah,
and he said the horse has got loose 30 minutes after takeoff. Yeah, there was a little jockey on the guy on the back.
Yeah, I take control here.
And taking bets.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's mad.
Seriously, how you cheat yourself though, wouldn't you, if a horse started going mad on a plane?
Oh yeah, but
well, imagine if it got out. It's got out of its stall. What happens if it opened one of the pressure doors and jumped?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, there is.
We'd be telling a whole different story, wouldn't we? We'd be talking about a man who was in his garden and a horse just landed on him or something.
I just did a loop-the-loop myself.
Or like
the
that
horse,
guy.
knock it out, yeah.
Oh, catch it.
Yeah, knock the horse out.
Catch it back in its stall.
Yeah.
On a loop the loop.
Yeah, let's play a game now. Yeah,
Anyway, come on.
Up, down,
right, so
everywhere.
realism aside, have we? This is a true story, but like, yeah, horse running amok. Have you seen anything in the news this
I
week?
have.
Go on.
Which is slightly a little bit more crazier than that.
That's quite crazier than a horse. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson movie sequel.
What would you think if you were driving and you're driving to the hospital, your missus is pregnant, right?
Wait a
next
minute.
to you?
Wait a minute. So your missus, your wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're driving at 60 mile an hour,
Right.
yeah, in Colombia, to the hospital.
Wait a minute. Is this localized to Colombia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny how you just slipped that in, right? Yeah.
Well,
so this doesn't mean
Well,
if I'm
for
in
a
the UK.
designated country.
Right. So what about if I'm doing it in the UK?
No.
This
Well,
doesn't matter. It's
yeah,
just
it don't matter.
specifically
Yeah.
to Colombia.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm already not going to Colombia, so like.
Well, I don't know.
I might
It
one
depends
day,
if
but
you'd like
I'm
a
not
Russia
there.
Or something.
Right. Wait a minute. I'm looking at this logically, though. Yeah. The idea that I might be in Colombia is one thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm gonna have to be there with my pregnant wife is a
Yeah.
totally different
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. Going 60 mile an hour.
Doing 60 mile an hour, trying to get to
10
the
minutes.
hospital.
10 minutes to get to the hospital.
This is a
yeah?
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Is this
No,
news?
No, this is news. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Going round the roundabout. Yeah. And his missus all of a sudden just went, whoop, and it pops out.
Right.
She was pregnant.
Is this actually
She
happened?
gave birth at 60 mile an hour.
I've
10
seen
minutes
that
away
in
from
comedy
the
movies.
hospital. Yeah.
60 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes away
around,
from the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, they went round the corner.
Couldn't
and
wait, could
the
it?
little kid just went, boink.
Sometimes
out,
it's
little girl.
easier than that, but like, as easy as that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sometimes women have like real struggles with labour.
I
do you
think
know
it was
what
the
I mean?
first one as well.
But like, where they were like you hear it like, oh, I was in labour for 15 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it took ages. But then
whereas like some of them
this
are just
lady's
like,
just
bloop.
Yeah, just pops out like a little pig.
Well, maybe like a little poo.
A little
But
fish.
sometimes that happens as well.
Yeah.
Apparently, a little poo.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you're having
yeah,
a
I believe
baby.
so. I
It's
believe
like,
so.
oh, ignore the poo.
Yeah.
Here's your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Just wipe the back end now. Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah, I
that's just
believe
mad
that.
innit? That's just
That's
crazy.
actually the
60 mile an
opening
hour.
scenes to Talladega Nights, where he's like, Ricky Bob, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, where he's like, the baby comes out because he slams the brakes on,
Yeah.
and she fires the kid out.
Kid straight out.
So that's exactly what happened, doesn't
Oh,
it?
near enough,
That kid in Colombia's born to be a race car driver.
Hey, yeah, I wonder.
I reckon they will follow the career of this child. I'm sure he's going to be like a top rally driver at some point in his career. What little girl was it?
Rally. Yeah, it
There
turned
you
out
go.
to be a little girl, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, that's beautiful.
Everything went right.
Well, at least they could just turn the taxi round and go straight back home.
Well, yeah.
I'd take him in for some checks. Maybe get checks for concussion.
It was the father who was driving. He was driving the BMW 3 Series, and it was like a 45
I
minute
love that
drive.
you know what car he was driving and was like really impressed by the fact that it was a 3 Series.
Well, yeah, because I'm just wondering, like, it's nice and comfortable to have a baby in. Well, we know now.
Heated seats and that.
Yeah, exactly, and it just slides out. Boom. Every pregnant woman should have one.
Tell you what, a BMW 3 Series,
Yeah.
there you go. The sales are going to go through the roof now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Commission based. We deserve
Yeah,
definitely some sort of sponsorship after that.
Definitely.
I say it's Black Friday. We're talking about Thanksgiving then, but Black Friday usually follows Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
It's like every Friday at the
It's usually on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, but then for Black Friday's the Friday after, isn't it? So, one of the nation's largest plumbing repair companies,
Oh, yeah.
said that they basically call it Brown Friday.
All right.
Yeah, because of the Thanksgiving daily dump. So, do you know what I mean? Like, basically, serious. It's a thing, right? So everyone, it's like Christmas Boxing Day for us, right? We have our Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have a
mate,
pig
it sits
out.
heavily on your stomach.
It
So
does.
you have a bigger dump the next day, right?
Yeah.
So because of Thanksgiving being like one of those
Can't
days
walk
where
properly for the next 2
it's
weeks.
all about eating a lot of food and kind of like
Getting a food coma.
stodge. Yeah, exactly. Getting a food coma. You want that
Yeah.
stodge.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously, you're gonna be expecting a bigger poo. So apparently the plumbing, the plumbing company have said that, like, you know, they experience a 50% increase.
I bet.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's
in
just
core
50%.
volume. No, this is core volume, not in size of poos.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but they
they're like fucking babies.
they get 50% increase in calls the day after Thanksgiving compared to any other average Friday.
What, for blockages and
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. The company said that it had 21% uptake in business over the 4-day weekend.
Well, everyone throws from like napkins to anything down there.
Oh, they do.
Days.
They should be a bit more
blocks.
careful about what you throw down the toilet, obviously, because
disposable only.
It's not a portal to a fucking a magical land where
poo land.
You just get rid of everything, whatever you don't want.
Yeah.
Throw it down the toilet. Press the flush
button.
Universe. Oh yeah, that's where it goes to that magical fucking
realm,
mystery land where you lose your keys.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I mean, Brown Friday. So, but yeah, I mean, it all comes down to having extra guests, more flushes on the toilet, more showers, more dishwashers, laundry loads, garbage disposals, all those types of things.
Yeah.
But obviously, it puts a bit more strain on your facilities.
Of course.
But that is one reason.
Yeah.
But but 50% increase in your call outs because of a bigger increase in your daily dump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's something to be thankful for, isn't it?
Well, yeah, toilet. Yeah.
Well,
imagine if we didn't have toilets.
Yeah.
Man, the area would.
Well, we'd be digging holes.
Months.
They'd be digging holes everywhere.
Yeah,
have you seen anything in the news you'd want to talk about?
I have actually, about our Prime Minister, Richie Rich.
Rishi
Rich. Yeah.
I don't like him.
I don't, because especially with these proposals he's looking at bringing in next year, which will be, we have, what is it? Generally, it's 12,500 before you pay tax, and he's bringing that down to 10,000. So the government are going to make mega money on that alone. And also, he wants to take away the £1,000, where you don't really have to pay tax on it. It's just like a little fleet, throwaway money.
Yeah.
But he's also adding, he's looking at taking away bank holidays, which I don't think we're going to stand for, to be honest. But he's looking at doing massive changes for next year. But he's going to have major problems because there's going to be an election next year as well.
Yeah, so no one's going to vote for him.
No, so if these come in...
Well, they'll all just get reversed again.
Yeah.
But is that just a way of, like, bringing some dough in?
Like, and I mean, they've already had their tax money in now. It's just over $1 trillion. So that's how much they've got for next year to spend. But this would more than likely, because don't forget, thinking about it, take £2,500 off every single person.
Ain't got it. You can't have it.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry, bro.
So,
you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Rishi doesn't really live in the real world, does he?
About $5 trillion, and we can pay off our debt. And then, that's what his idea is, because we're going to pay off the debt,
right,
not them.
Okay, so why doesn't why don't they just quantitative ease it and go and print us all $2,500 per person?
Debt.
Well, that doesn't matter because you know what I'm saying.
That's it. But I also found out about was transitioning to these credit online, these crypto. Yeah. Well, if you've got a contract from quite a while back, you could possibly rip that contract afterwards, because there is...
you could probably what?
Rip your contract. Let's say you got a mortgage 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We weren't even talking about crypto. Now, if crypto comes in and gets changed to be the dominant money, and pounds go... Then, if you've got a contract that says that you owe, let's say, £30,000,
pounds,
that debt is gone.
Yeah, because it's no longer dominant currency.
But it also means the government.
No, because they'll just transfer it. They'll say that you owe it in the equivalent of.
Yeah, but it could be an easier way to get rid of.
There'll be a way that they'll work that out. And now you've said that, there's some buff in there going, oh shit. If we hadn't thought about that, you've just let them know.
That's why I said, like, if you've got
Cheers,
one from like
Taylor.
10 years ago, because now I should imagine that, because it has been talked about lately, they will know about it anyway, so they would add it to a contract now. So there's no point going out now and doing it. But if you have an old contract, there's more than likely, there's a good chance that you won't have to pay a lot of the debt off near the transition.
Okay, well, there you go. I don't know. I don't understand it myself, but you might.
Yeah.
What do you think of airport food? Airplane food, even? Is it worse than hospital food? I don't know.
Never touched it. Don't think
I have, actually. I've had a couple of flights where I've had a meal, but they weren't very good.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
But food served on planes, you know, they don't have the best reputation at the best of times.
No.
But
no caviar.
this Chinese Eastern Airlines plane showed the menu of those flying in business class, which included beef, seafood, and soup dishes. But the English translation got people talking because obviously it basically said imported dog food.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that don't sound tasty.
No, I don't know if it was. Almost 1,000 people reacted to the post on Facebook with 100 comments, or thousands of comments.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of maybe, I don't know, hundreds of comments. But basically, they were basically asking if it was meant to be, you know, pet friendly, or was it something else, or was it something that was not meant for humans?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they maybe used a Google Translate or something like that.
It went a little bit
and it just
skew-whiffed.
skew-whiffed it, yeah. But it's like
AI's playing jokes.
maybe it was dog food.
Well, you know what? Could be. There's a possibility.
I mean, I'd rather take a bag of lunch.
Yeah, rather
To be honest, you know what I mean? Like, what was this?
I'd rather eat a bag of ants.
Well, apparently, like, there's been loads of these types of things, like, you know, with, like, you know, the vegan breakfast. Yeah, stuff like that, where you go in business class and they say, like, what's your vegan breakfast option? And they come back with a banana and a pair of chopsticks.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's taking the piss. But this actually happened. That lady was served a banana after takeoff. You know, and then she was offered some chopsticks to eat it with.
Nice.
That's true. Fucking what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's your vegan option. It's a bit tight, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But like, giving her a banana with some chopsticks. Like, go on anyway. Have you got anything else? I've got a few more stories before NASA News.
Yeah. I've got a funny one. There's been a campaign since 2006. On changing the name of fire ants.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So what?
We don't have fire ants here.
So why we bothered about changing the name?
Because
they're going to introduce them and then say, oh, they're going to kill us all or something.
Well, no, since 2016, there's been 36 genders basically added. So these ants have been called red ants, they've been called ginger ants, fire ants, and this campaign.
When you say genders, do you in terms of like ants?
Yeah, basically.
Well, what would you not just say like new names?
Well,
ways of, you know, like, because you say they've been ginger ants, they've been whatever ants.
Yeah, that's
right.
Red ants.
That's
ginger
that.
Ants,
Would you consider that a gender, or would you consider that just being the name of it?
Well, this campaign is considering it is.
Oh right, okay. That's what I'm asking. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Changing it to a name. What name do you reckon?
Well, why is fire ant? What's wrong with fire ant?
I don't find
that's the name.
Yeah. But what do you reckon they would like to change the name to?
Oh, I don't know.
Guess on that. Anything
no, come on, enlighten me.
Try the Spice Boys.
What?
Yeah. And not only that...
Spice Boy ants?
Yeah.
Or not even ants, just Spice Boys?
Yeah. And there's been over 16,000 signatures.
Yeah, of course they have, because
this.
people will dive on anything that's a little ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah.
Right? Come on. Fire ants, just leave them alone. The fire ants. Fucking hell.
But
there's like somebody going, right, I want to change the name of human beings to fucking, I don't know,
But reporters have actually been helping the campaign.
Silly bastards.
It's been in an increase on talking about this and getting.
This is
changed.
stupid.
I know. So it's like,
right. If any of our listeners is one of the people responsible for this, or even signed the petition, you should be fucking ashamed yourselves. Get a fucking grip.
Yeah, it's like it's a no nonsense thing, and you know what I mean. It's like
Spice Boys.
Yeah, you won't call it.
Haven't we talked about this before?
I don't think so.
I think we might have a while ago, but like, this is it. Is this?
It's the campaign's on a big reach at the minute. Apparently.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. This is it.
Yeah.
The campaign has obviously taken off.
Yeah.
But
It's back in now.
Right. No, I don't think they should be renamed or reclassified in any ridiculous way. They should be fire ants, and that's it.
Yeah, fire ants. Ants is perfectly simple and easy.
I mean, why did they get changed from ginger ants?
No, that's another common name. That's
so they still go by that now.
Certain areas they get called ginger ants, then other areas red ants, but most of us know him as red ants. So they want to change it to all one name.
Aren't they the ones that kind of, like a really kind of swarm you?
Yeah.
Oh, they're the dangerous ones, aren't they? Anyway.
I'd rather have one of them than the bullet ant.
Well, we're talking about large numbers of, crazy animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. A population of, these are super pigs.
Super pigs?
Yeah. The basic, large population of super pigs in Canada are threatening to invade the US.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're on it. They're like, right, we're going to cross the border. We're going to fuck everybody up. This is Jess from Minneapolis. An explosion in the population of super pigs in Canada is threatening to spill over the southern border into the mountain states, including Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, and they're taking steps to stop the invasion.
Sounds like a culling's going to get done.
We got pork on the menu, guys. There's some ribs coming.
Yeah, man.
I think that's
go
good.
For a barbecue.
I mean, it's a bit sly, but I mean, obviously, you're saying there's a cull, right? Yeah, but like wild pigs roaming around the streets are going to be a bit of a problem, aren't they?
Yeah,
like,
they're not friendly.
They're often crossbreeded as well, so that means they've got they've got survival skills in the wild. But
kill
normal,
meat,
like usually with a boar or something. But with the size of a normal domestic swine or domestic pig. But super pigs that have basically spreading out of control. Because they're kind of boar, so they've got the survival skills. They're not just normal kind of like your everyday pigs.
Yeah, no,
which
like
pigs are quite
generation.
smart.
Yeah,
the pigs, the next generation.
Yeah.
These are like these are like they can solve problems.
Mathematical.
They're very
equations.
good at Sudoku.
Yeah,
these are super pigs.
I hear a couple of them are working at CERN.
Some of them are working at CERN.
Yeah,
I've even heard one of them's joined the Avengers.
Yeah, and I believe one of them now stays at 10 Downing Street.
in the guest room.
Yeah, he's kind of like a little.
He's waiting for Cameron to come back in it.
He is.
He's been there since. Anyway, well, there you go. I think that they'll be doing stuff there, but I mean, obviously, like these pigs have just kind of like they're getting. I just get this
bacon.
I get this just Canadian bacon.
Yeah, it'd be great bacon. Danes are shitting themselves.
I think like it's just the idea of like the with the headline that this army of super pigs are getting ready to invade the United States.
Get your ass.
I can see them all like mobilizing.
All go at once.
It was like we've had enough of Trump. We need to kill the king.
Oh yeah,
the pig king.
Well, right. They're president over there anyway. We'll probably let him through.
Here we go, and this is the last story I've got before we move on into NASA news. But it's an equally sized tumbleweed to the equally sized bad joke I just made.
Okay.
It is a massive, giant tumbleweed. This is the story.
Oh, right, okay.
A car-sized tumbleweed made quite a scene on a Californian highway. On a Californian highway
must have been
was a massive tumbleweed. Must have been rolling around for a fucking good while, but...
Now that's took his time from one part to the other.
Serious? So basically, a giant tumbleweed, roughly the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, was spotted hurtling down the 4 lanes of the California highway this week.
Police give chase.
They gave chase, yeah, but they were like, pull over,
yeah,
and it just didn't. But like, yeah,
No
the brown bundle of bush was captured on video, and yeah, posted on the artist formerly known as Twitter,
Prince.
X,
Yeah,
X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Where it gathered a number of fans commenting on it and stuff, but it was just like a huge giant hairball or a big giant tumbleweed. I always considered tumbleweeds with unfunny.
yeah,
You know, when somebody says something unfunny,
yeah.
somebody must have said something really unfunny for that fucker to go past. But yeah, I love that stuff. I love.
Well,
the
I just heard
of
a lady who liked eating her hair. Yeah.
Did she have to cough up a hairball?
She did actually. It got stuck in her throat, and she had to have an operation to get it taken out.
Really?
And it's like, I thought, well, that's what's going to happen if you eat your hair. Have you ever seen a cat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Actually, I do have another story, and it goes pretty well with this one. So we'll go. You go on. What was you going to say? So you're like, she's eating a hairball.
Yeah. Well, no, she's been eating
her own hair
for years, but then she's gathered her hairball and started choking her, so she had to have an operation to take it out. Stop eating your hair.
Is she okay now, though?
Yes. Yeah. Everything went well.
I found this story about a US nuclear reactor lab.
Oh.
Yeah, it was hit by furries.
Eh?
Do you know people who dress up in like furry
Oh,
costumes?
yeah,
right.
The little
Well,
buggers.
these guys were furry hackers.
Oh, so they
Yeah.
weren't on the shag trail, they were on the hack trail.
Well, they were probably on both,
Both,
but
yeah,
like
well, yeah,
they
that's
were furry hackers. Yeah, right. They ended up hacking into the US nuclear reactor lab.
Oh shit!
Right. Yeah, and they had demands.
Oh shit!
Right, they made demands. Right,
Very
seriously, these were serious demands. Yeah, what they wanted this nuclear reactor lab to do for them. Yeah, they wanted them to create human-cat hybrid mutants.
Oh fuck off!
Yeah, that's what they were demanding.
No.
Staff reported.
You've already got him.
Going, people, read too many comic books and graphic novels. But they basically said they were self-described gay furry hackers. Basically broke into this lab, America's biggest nuclear power lab computer system. Stole records from thousands of employees.
Oh shit!
Some that basically some of the data has already been leaked out.
Oh
yeah.
No.
So they've been in a bit of shit. But yeah,
now.
they've got the demands were to create cat-human hybrid mutants.
Well, enjoy yourselves in prison, lads.
Great demands, do you know what I mean? It's like, get at least ask for something on, that you might be able to get.
I want £1 million, $1 million.
At least ask for the money and then try and make the mutant cats yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, rather than rely on someone else to do it for you.
I think you went the wrong way, lads. Yeah, but maybe next time if you ever get back out of prison.
It's actually quite a big security breach, to be honest, because like they've got 6,000 plus people around the area work for them.
Well, it shows where the breach is now, so hopefully they can plug it. They should be able to plug it now, and they'll be more on tent hooks now. I should imagine.
Well, there you go. What we on NASA news?
I got 2 stories.
What NASA stories or just regular stories?
Regular.
Oh, you go for it.
A new lost city.
Another one.
They're
all over the place. We're finding that the whole planet's mainly cities that we've lost.
You're not fucking.
Who knows? Go on.
Because it has been found in the deep ocean, and it is a city that we've never seen before, apparently, on Earth. They found
Atlantis.
4 spiked towers, and they believe that it's a part of a massive city down there.
Fair play. We'll have to do a bit of investigating on that. That sounds pretty interesting. I saw something about a lost city the other day, actually, as well. Come to think of it. One of it was basically talking about a river that had been drying up.
Oh,
yeah, right. But I can't remember what the name is. It the Nahiti or something like that. I can't remember what the name of the river is, but like it's apparently it's not dried up for like 30, 40 years or something.
And now it's starting to.
Or for a long time, maybe even longer, right? Maybe 300 years or something, but like it's the last time it dried up, like I don't think many people today were around. I think that's how long. It wasn't 30 years, it was a lot longer than that, but now it has started to dry up. They've discovered loads of like cave systems and stuff like that, and like man-made basically buildings which were below the waterline, and now like they're discovering loads of like man-made features basically. So but there's actually loads of prophecies and stuff
I was just
in
gonna
biblical
say,
text
that,
about this particular river, saying like when it dries up, we'll release this, that, and the other. I'm gonna have to look into it because, like, it was interesting because, like, when you said about the lost city or lost cities that kind of keep cropping up, it's interesting because there's two that have come up relatively recently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
we seem
that
to find
specific
them all the
one
time,
that I was looking at was something that I was kind of looking into for research for the show.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting kind of like story.
Yeah, because I've heard something like that as well around, and I looked into a little bit of it, and it comes to the information seems to be like similar to it about it.
So go on.
My last story, which I was shocked because shocked I was.
He was.
You never guess what Snoop Dogg's giving up.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
What the king of weed?
It's his whole thing, isn't it?
It's his brand.
It's totally his brand.
Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned this to you last week, actually, didn't I? I think.
I
did mention it. I think, like I was talking about Snoop Dogg. Well, I found out a bit more information about this as well, right? Because so he's, like you say, it's his whole thing. It's like he's got loads of deals going on around it. Yeah. It's got paraphernalia linked to it with his name on it.
He's even got a guy who pays $60 a day to just sit there and roll.
Well, he's out of work then, isn't he?
Yeah,
right.
Now,
But what I'm getting at is, it's like there was he's saying he's gone smokeless. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this advert for this kind of fire. Yeah, like a garden patio heater.
Oh, right.
Right, or a grill or something. It does it's a fucking fire machine, basically. It's a grill or a patio heater.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, you might have heard that I've gone smokeless. Well, so's this. Yeah, right. And he's advertising this smokeless grill. And one of my mates was like, oh, is that why he's, gone smokeless? Or is it
just doing it for a little while, or just not showing he's doing it?
And I went, well, no, it looks like he's rather said he's gone smokeless because he's advertising this brand.
Yeah.
Right? And he hasn't, but he's saying he has because obviously, we'll hear these rumors.
Yeah, it helps the brand go up, doesn't it?
Sell, right? Or they've approached him because he said he's going smokeless, and they've gone, oh, we're smokeless too. Do you want to represent us?
Yeah.
Right? And he has legitimately just give up weed. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's one of those. It's like, who knows? But it's one of those kind of things like, do you know when you get a big marketing stunt with like musicians where it's usually something like the Beatles have broken up.
Yeah.
Or somebody's significance left the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? In that respect, that's how it feels. It's like I would have been more shocked if he said, less shocked if he said, I'm giving up rapping. I'd be genuinely true. If Snoop Dogg had made that announcement, because the announcement apparently he made was like, I've discussed it with my friends and family.
Yeah.
I
think I'm smoking a little bit too much.
No, he didn't even say it like that. He said it like he was giving up a career. Yeah, like he was like, after speaking with my friends and family, I would decide, that the time is right for me to step away from the game and trying to focus on my health and my family and all the rest of it. And it's like, that's like if Michael Jordan had gone like to the reporter and said like, I'm giving up basketball, that would be the exact speech he'd give. Like, for this, that, and the other reasons, I've decided to walk away from the sport. Yeah, well, that's exactly how he's putting it. Like,
That
and it'd
to
be
me
like,
sounds like he's had possibly a health scare.
Well, maybe, or maybe he's playing. He's getting his ass whooped on Fortnite. Yeah,
and he wants
and he needs to up his game a little bit, and he's thinking this smoking weed's probably making me fall asleep. When I'm supposed to be streaming. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Creaming.
I'm supposed to be on Twitch doing some Fortnite action and I'm getting my ass whooped because I'm baked all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. He's figuring.
I think you might be right on the advertising thing.
What, doing Just Eat?
I can't see him without.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens because I can't. I did actually say this. It's like most people who say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to give up the weed."
Yeah.
It doesn't last long.
No. No.
That'll be in the headline news in a couple of weeks. It was like Snoop Dogg smelled the joint and couldn't resist.
Yeah, because he's still going to have his mates around him who are going to smoke it in front of him. He's all right, smoke in front of you there, Snoop, and he'd be like, yeah, and then give us a little
Snoop, check this real sticky
puff pass. Yeah, bro.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got these going into the NASA news, science news, and spacey news. Space is baffling, but scientists are baffled, right? Do you know that scene in Thor where he holds his hammer up and you get that big blue beam that beams him off to fucking to fucking
Santa's land.
Yeah, Santa's land.
Yeah, North Pole.
Where is it? Asgard, right?
Yeah.
Takes him off to Asgard.
Well, when he was there, I don't know where he takes him now. Where that is one of the questions.
It takes him wherever he wants to go.
Yeah,
it's the Bifrost, isn't it?
Yeah, because he used to use that machine, but now the machine's destroyed with the.
Oh yeah, but the Stormbreaker can summon it. Apparently, we anyway. That's geeky. We're such nerds.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway,
yeah.
Well, scientists are baffled. Because extremely highly and high energy particle beam has been detected falling to Earth. Thor has arrived, I think. Right. So basically, this extremely high energy particle ray beam. Yeah. Right. Or whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, right. Experts have been left wondering how the event could have even happened because the particles that have fell to Earth, right, are thousands of times higher energy than anything that we can even produce at CERN.
Yeah.
Right? So in terms of like light spectrum, you've got the orange spectrum that's like generally sunlight.
Yeah.
Then you've got like a kind of higher energy spectrum, which is like a blue spectrum. And then the pink, like purpley white is like the highest, that they can detect. And this is kind of like off the chart.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, what could be even happening in space for this thing to happen, right? And even kind of travel through space and hit us. It's crazy because it looks like a big bolt of blue lightning, or like the Bifrost opening up or something. The energy levels recorded, like I say, was so off the chart that it has left scientists baffled because so to get something like that happen, it would take some sort of cataclysmic cosmic event, right? Yeah. And knowing which kind of direction this particle beam has come from, they can kind of track it back and kind of see where this has come from and what had happened, because obviously, because it's so far away, time-wise, we can kind of still see what was there before it happened.
We might even see it happen.
We might even see it happen in the future. Yeah. Right.
Because it's like a time.
The delay on it. Yeah. Right. But saying that, this energy beam's managed to catch us, but with the energy it released, it was able to reach us and hit us with such energy, which is amazing, right, for a start. But they tracked it back anyway.
Oh, right.
Guess what they found?
Aliens.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
That makes me think aliens.
Well, that makes me think, where the fuck did this come from? Because they've literally found nothing.
Give us a bit of a fright.
It's come through the Milky Way galaxy anyway. How they were able to kind of read it was using these mad sensors. but like basically it kind of, when it hits our atmosphere, it breaks up into kind of little smaller particles.
Yeah.
And it looks like lightning forks, but like a way more extreme.
Yeah.
But as it's approaching Earth, it's
yeah.
like a beam. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's only when it hits our atmosphere it breaks.
Right.
But it's a very rare and extremely highly rare occurrence. But
possibly dangerous as well.
Named after the Japanese sun god.
Right.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
If you Google that, you'll know.
Yeah.
High energy cosmic ray.
That's mad, but there's been a lot of things going on.
It's like Thor coming arriving.
Been
Do
a
you know
lot
what I
of
mean?
weird stuff going on in space over the last couple of years, and it's kind of baffling scientists.
It is, isn't it?
Ways. It's like
People were baffled.
A new book on it.
People were baffled yesterday.
Why?
Because there was a moonbow.
Oh, moonbow.
Have you seen moonbow?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a moonbow?
Yeah.
It's like a halo around the moon. My sister actually texted me going, "Oh mate, there's a rainbow around the moon. Have you seen it?" And I was like, "I have seen that before, but I couldn't see the moon where it was."
Yeah,
so I was just like,
a UFO report near me. I was checking out
over
before,
the moonbow,
and it was actually the moonbow they were looking at. Yeah.
Ah, right. So people mistaken the moon for a UFO.
Yeah.
Because it was so weird in the sky.
Yeah. So it's like, that should be happening now.
Well, it was like a moon halo. People described it as. It was all over the country, but as far as Buckinghamshire.
Oh, right.
So people were seeing it literally all over the country. What's it down to? Is it crystallization in the atmosphere?
Yeah. Mostly it's down to crystallization. It's the bigger crystals, so they can the shines more.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of weird shit in the sky for that kind of stuff.
Weird shit in the sky. That's our whole shtick.
That's true. That's true.
Weird shit in the sky. Well, yeah, point me at that.
If you've got any pencils, I'd keep hold of them.
Why? Because the lead's going to be really worth money in the future. Come on.
Yeah.
I've got boxes.
Yeah, have you?
Yes, I'm fucking going to be rich.
Well, keep hold of them, because MIT have just made pencil lead into gold. Yes, they've made pencil lead into gold.
The Midas touch of these guys, alchemists.
Yeah.
So how have they managed that? By rearranging the atoms?
And pressure, it comes down a lot.
Well, no,
high pressure. As well.
Listen, right? If you can understand how a gold molecule acts, right? Yeah, and you can rearrange the molecules in lead, to behave like gold atoms, then why wouldn't it change into gold? Because you've just told it. It's like when we talk about DNA and how we can do genetic mapping and tweak little bits, to say, well, I want blue eyes, right? I want my child to have fucking ginger hair or whatever you want, right? Yeah. If we're doing that sort of research on human genetics and human building blocks, what makes you think they're not doing it on that? That's way more valuable, being able to turn lead into gold. Yeah. But then it's one of those, isn't it, where it's like, are you doing this on a mass scale and not telling anybody, because then that makes the economy stronger? Or you tell people that you're doing it and the value of gold goes down.
Yeah, well,
do you know what I mean? Because all of a
sudden
sudden it's way more abundant. But, it's like, it goes back to...
it's going to throw gold away, basically. It's going to
make gold a redundant material,
Yeah.
In terms of rarity and, the lack of it.
Yeah.
Well, no, because what makes you think that if they can't turn lead into gold, they can't turn, lead into silver, platinum, whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's all about changing a slight thing or a molecule around or whatever. And we're getting to the stage where
the pureness as well.
It is interesting because you go on about the quantum realm a lot, right? But in terms of like microbiology and micro genetics and micro everything, we are working on a much more kind of on a more micro level, because we are at a point now where we can look deeper and we've got the technology to be able to manipulate things in a way that we've never been able to do before.
Yeah.
So
we might be able to.
You know, I mean, 10 years ago, if you would have said that to me, like someone's been able to turn lead into gold, I would have been like, fuck off.
Was like
I don't believe you.
Back then.
That was the Holy Grail, like, you know, not even 10 years ago, but, you know, forever. Yeah, right. Turning
they've been doing it
non-precious metals into precious metals, right? But the idea that nowadays, like, because technology has moved on so quick, that somebody says, oh, they've managed to do it, you know, you'd be like, it does not surprise me. Do you know what I mean? Like, right, it really doesn't. The fact that they've announced it surprises me.
Yeah.
Or the fact that someone's actually announced that as a discovery, because I would have thought that, you know, like, say if you're a scientist, I think there was a Big Bang episode where they invent something that has military application, and the military swoop in and go, we'll have that. You're working for us now, right? So do you think if there was a group of scientists who managed to change lead into gold, that the government wouldn't have swooped in beforehand and said, listen, you tell nobody about this, you work for us now, right? So how true is this story? This is what I'm saying. It's like, well, how could they allow that information to be released?
MIT.
Well, this is what I'm saying,
so
from
you're
MIT.
Like a big department in the MIT, which, like, the government are going to know about it unless they were very secretly and went like, right, this is how we
released it without anyone knowing about it, maybe.
Which would, like you say, could fuck up the economy and stuff like that. But I just recently as well found that...
Funny, actually, because as a university, they'd have sort of, like, not a claim on it, but they'd have sort of... they'd benefit from any research done on that field, right?
That's right.
Keeping it under wraps and then releasing it to the public as, look, a discovery made by our scientists at our university.
But how long have they had it? That's another question. How long did they actually add this?
This is the thing, isn't it?
But
they'll still kind of want it.
Well, yeah.
Ooh, interesting stuff.
Just found out as well that...
there's a lot of implications to the just generating of wealth. That's the thing. Where just a large... If you were able to make money, that's very kind of like... interesting because like how that affects everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
We're gonna have to move on, but go on.
Yeah.
What?
I found out that they found 2 genes that could put us humans in hibernation. We've got them genes to be go into hibernation.
For how long?
Well, that's the other thing. For as long as you wanted to, basically.
Yeah, but if we all go into hibernation, who's going to be around to switch us all back on?
Might need them if the way the world's going.
Oh, what? So if we all go into hibernation for a couple of millennia, I don't trust it.
It kind of helps us go through space.
That was the first thing I was thinking about when you said it.
To go to Mars
more
or
space.
even further.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing about that is, right, okay, we might be able to go into hibernation and go into very long, deep sleeps, but we still age in sleep. Yeah, when we sleep, we still age.
It's slower.
So how is it?
It's slow
because we're not moving.
But your
by that
body
logic,
is closing
me sitting
down.
on the couch.
Basically, you're in a frozen state, so everything within your body.
I wouldn't say you were in a frozen state. Enough. You would be in like a comatose state.
Well, yeah, everything shuts down apart from the certain important organs.
Your brain, your
but then
lungs,
they are
your
moving
heart.
Slower. So you're still.
Well, yeah, because your stress levels and you like literally everything's been toned down, hasn't it? So you're just running on like fucking. You're running on backup.
You're running on 1%, so you don't use that energy, so you can last longer, so your body can. But then again, you still need to eat a lot to like.
Yeah, this is the thing as well. Stuff. Yeah, it's like you'd still be kind of needing nourishment.
Yeah.
So.
Go back to the way
this
we
is
should
the thing.
have been.
It's like you still wouldn't be able to go on like 100-year journeys because your body would just still die in the coma state. So and like I say, the amount of food, and you'd still need people up and around changing your food bags and fucking whatever.
Well, it's better than doing the frozen.
So somebody would
casket.
still have to make the trip.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Not that they're going to have that experimentation where they're going to send them to Mars and stuff like that. At least, I reckon
I like that they're thinking about these types of things, though, isn't it? So
yeah, but I don't like
good.
the way that they're probably going to do it and then they're going to abuse it.
Using it, abuse it.
Yeah, as always.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I think that's the end of the show. It's been an interesting one, from werewolves to lightning bolts from space.
Yeah,
all sorts of
baby
stuff.
At 60 mile an hour.
Yeah, babies at 60 mile an hour. As always, we deliver a lot of crazy randomness.
Boom, boom.
Ba ba boom. Exactly. We'll be back next week for another excellent episode of the show. Thank you for everybody who downloads. You can get your podcast if you're not subscribed already, which, I think statistics show that there is about, a lot of people listen but don't subscribe.
Come on, give us a
So maybe subscribe, but you can also you can subscribe is Spreaker.
Can.
And
a lot of other places.
Spotify, iTunes, all those places. YouTube.
Yeah.
We've got extra content available on TikTok.
We have.
As well as Spotify. We are on Spreaker. Spreaker's a good one, I think. I would use them.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out the link for Orange County CBD.
Yeah, good stuff.
We'll be back next week.
Well,
and I think that is everything. We've got the website. Website's down at the minute. We're rebooting the website, I think. I'm doing some work on it.
Well, you can still get our other episodes.
The link is available still, but there is with the website's being revamped at the minute. Yeah. So that'll be back up shortly. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We've been Never Straight Answer Podcast. Peace.
Oh, subspace.